Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to the Knitventure podcast. Hello, I'm Emily and this is a knitting podcast all about any finished objects, any whips, any acquisitions or future knitting plans. I have watched quite a few knitting podcasts and I thought, why not have a go myself? Any excuse to talk about knitting and then I don't bore my fiance Sandy with all my knitting chat. I'll get it all out in one go. So I live in the Scottish Highlands. I live just outside of Inverness with my partner Sandy and our two cats. I love living up here. We moved between one of the lockdowns. Sandy's from up here and we've been here for the last 6 years and it's amazing. It's a beautiful place. If you love outdoor things, we love swimming and cycling, running, hiking. It's a fantastic place to live. We've got Avamore down the road in one direction with fantastic outdoor things, even a bit of skiing if the winter is good. And then Tardon, my favourite place, up the road the other way. So it's a lovely place to live and we both love it. So straight into the knitting then. So this is my first finished object. This is the No Frills sweater by Petite Knit. I did a test knit for the SABAI a couple of months ago, and sorry, this is like a bit like random jump in, but this is why I knit this one. And then I went back and I started watching some of her podcast episodes, and she knit this sweater, the No Frills, in this yarn, and I've been influenced twice. She's knit a couple of them. I've also knit another version exactly like hers, or I'm currently knitting another version like hers. So yeah, she's influenced me heavily. So yeah, this is the No Frills. So it's very basic, nothing fancy, fairly quick to knit up. So you start with the ribbing, 3mm needles, or that's what I use to get gauge. And then it's 4mm for the body, and it's a raglan. I think my bust size was for a size small, and I decided I wanted less positive ease, so I knit the size extra small. And as of yesterday, I believe, there's just been an update, so there are now sizes extra small all the way up to 5XL, and they didn't have that previously. So yeah, then you knit the body and you do ribbing at the bottom, and then your sleeves with a bit of ribbing as well. So this is, she doesn't suggest Italian bind off, which is what I've always done for ribbing. So instead, originally I did knit one, pass it over. And once I finished it, I felt like it was a bit like cinched in. It wasn't like too tight, it did fit, but probably tighter than what I've done now, and it was kind of a bit cinched in. So instead, I've done knit one, and then knit two together, and it gives a much stretchier cast off, bind off, or whatever you want to call it. And what was I going to say? Lost my flow. Yeah, once I finished, it was kind of, once I'd finished, it was kind of a bit wavy and not very neat, and I thought, oh gosh, that does not look good. But then I washed it, blocked it, and pinned all of the bottom out, and it's straightened out, and it's not all sort of a wavy hem. What I would change with this is my first line of my ribbing, I would knit 3mm needles and then like in stockinette and then go into the ribbing. I don't think the stretchy bind off or just a normal knit bind off looks as good as Italian ribbing, but Italian bind off, I don't mind it. Like it's no frills, it's easy, basic. That's a lot quicker than an Italian bind off, and yeah, I really love this sweater. I think it's really, really nice. The wool that I used is a cone by Woolly Knit. This is a 500-gram cone, the 4-ply British wool in Skiddaw Nepp. I held this double. It's really nice. Its cones are great because it was £22, I believe. Check my notes. Yeah. So I mean, I've made a whole jumper and I've still got quite a fair amount left. It smells really, really nice. Like it's really sheepy. Once I've washed it, it's probably a little bit less sheepy, but it does still smell like really nice and sheepy. There's maybe like a tiny little bit of itch, but like not unbearable. Like it's not next to skin super merino soft. But I mean, I'm wearing a dress and my arms are bare, and it doesn't bother me. So it's a little bit more sort of rusticy, but it's lovely. It's really beautiful. And my plan for the rest of it is to copy exactly probably what the Crabe did, and she knit a cable cowl, and I thought that looked really nice. So I will probably just do the same with what I have left over at some point. It's not really cowl wearing weather, although I say that. It's been hot a couple of weeks ago, and then this week it's been colder, and then today, I mean, it's been hailstorming, and yeah, so could probably make a cowl, and it's Scotland. Probably there'd be a day where I could wear it, even though it's supposed to be sort of spring going towards summer, but hey ho. Oh, there's also German short rows, so that the back is a bit higher than the front. Yeah, I think that is everything on this one. I love it. It's a really nice sweater, and I would probably repeat this multiple times. I'm already making a second one, so yeah, I mean, who's to say I probably won't make a third one. It's just, they're super easy to wear, so yeah, great sweater. Okay, on to my next finished object. So this is the Anker. It's got a little bit of a crease down the middle the way I folded it, but this is the Anker baby shirt by Petite Knit. Not everything I've got to show is Petite Knit, but there's a fair few Petite Knits. As with like many knitters, we're all obsessed with Petite Knit, and somehow she just creeps in, and every single pattern you then start making is like, oh, I've got one of someone else and two of Petite Knit. I'm trying to not just knit Petite Knit, but she's got really good sort of basic patterns in there. Her patterns are very easy to follow. So yeah, this is the Anker baby shirt. My cousin is having a baby, and it's her baby shower this weekend. So I've made this jumper for her, and it will be gifted. It is in Sunday by Sandnes Garn, which is 100% merino wool. It's really, really nice and soft. This is the light green colourway, and it's fingering weight. That was a spare bowl, but that's why. So I used one, and I don't think I've even used half. I mean, that's a full bowl, and that's what I've got left of the second one that I used for this one. So I could weigh it. Not very good at weighing to get precisely what I have used. But yeah, most of the second bowl left over really. So it is knit on 3mm needles. It's a circular yoke with this rib pattern. and then you do some raglan increases, and then the body and the sleeves. There's two options. You can knit a folded hem, or you can do a rib. I decided I liked the look of the rib because it matched the yoke, so I thought I'd go for that. And then you've got this button on the back, and you crochet a little loop. I don't crochet, so I'd like to learn. This is my first time attempting a tiny bit of crocheting. Not that it was much, I think it was just like a chain stitch. This was quite quick, you know, it's a little baby jumper. I've knit the size 3 to 6 months, so I thought maybe babies are all kind of different sizes, so the baby could wear this even when it's a little bit too small for it, and just maybe roll up the sleeves, and hopefully it will last a bit longer. I did, when knitting this, I knit like 4 of the raglan, and then I thought 4 of the increase rounds between the rib, and then I thought I had the wrong stitch count, and not realizing that because you knit the rib and then you do an increase, and I hadn't done the increase yet and thought I had the completely wrong amount of stitches, and then took back a row, and then realized took back a whole row of couple of rows of ribbing, and then realized I had done it right and had to do ribbing again. So that was a bit of a pain, but that was my fault. Should have thought about what I was doing, but yeah, it's really lovely and soft, really nice and soft, so I would highly recommend that yarn for knitting baby items. Yeah, I just think it's lovely. My one thing is, I'm not sure if this button, it's a really nice button, I got it from Hobbycraft, just got lovely little flowers on it. I don't know if that is maybe just a bit too like chunky, and if that's not going to be good on the back of a baby's neck, so I will gift it to her. And then my mum also knits, and she lives near, or my mum and my auntie, her mum, live at opposite ends of the village, so if it's a problem, she could, when she's home at her mum's house, she could take it to along the road to my mum. My mum could cut it out and put something else in, and a different, maybe flatter button in, if that's a problem. So yeah, it's very lovely. This was £6.50 a skein, so I mean, for a really lovely soft jumper, must have cost me £8 maybe, after I've used a little bit of the next one. So yeah, very happy with that. Quick sip of my tea. I don't usually spend so much time talking. Okay, the next top, my next finished object, is I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's the SABAI top by Susanne Müller. One of my cats is called SABAI, some SABI, which is not quite the spelling for this top. It's SABAI, but close enough, so I'm going for SABAI. This is a summer top. Again, I think it's quite a viral pattern, so probably a lot of people have knit this one. I knit mine in Belle, which is an extremely affordable yarn. I think it was in the sale, so I bought a couple of different colours of Belle, as well as this, which is the navy blue, and it was £1.40 at the time. I bought 5 and I only needed 4, and I I haven't written down what size I knit, but it was probably small or extra small. I think extra small. So yeah, it is a cotton viscose linen blend. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of got, it's like blue, and then it's got these sort of darker bits, which must be the linen or the cotton, or so yeah, it's got like lighter blue and then darker blue bits. I knit this on 4mm needles. So you knit this a couple of rows for the sort of folded, the rolled over edge, and then you knit the ribbed section, and then you split for the front and back, and then you knit, ooh, there's like some sun cream or some stuff on the front of my jumper, lovely, or t-shirt. So then you knit your front and your back until you get to the underarms, and then you join, and on the sides you're knitting a rib texture down the sides, which is a very nice little detail, and then rib at the bottom and a folded hem. This technically doesn't have a front or back. I have left a little stitch marker in. I've already worn this. I've left a little stitch marker in to sew a little label in, but technically there's no front or back, so there's not really any point in me doing that, but I don't know. I might just put a label in. It's very nice and soft. You can see the, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but like the darker and the lighter sort of bits from the wool in it. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a great pattern, very simple. It does seem, I think myself and many other knitters, because I looked at the comments, because it's two different versions of this. There's one with the rib bit and one with just like a rolled neck, I believe. I chose the ribbed one, and when you start reading the instructions, it says like you're doing the knit sort of folded over bit first, or the rolled edge, and then it doesn't look like there's then ribbing next. Yes, if you read it properly, it does say ribbing, but I thought, oh, if I picked the wrong version, and you get both versions when you buy it, and I thought, have I picked the wrong version out of the two? And then I read the comments, and she's like, and she has replied to some people's comments saying, yes, it is the ribbed version. It starts on line, whatever line it is. So it's just, obviously, many of us who've knit this seem to think that, oh, we picked the wrong version and it's not got the rib in it. But actually, when you properly read it, it does have the rib in it. So if you've also thinking about trying this and you wonder, oh, have I got the right version? Yes, there is the rib bit. It just isn't. Yeah, if you read the pattern properly, and maybe don't just skim it, then yeah, there is a rib bit. Yeah, so my last finished object, I don't have it here with me. I have a tiny bit of the yarn left over because it was a gift. So for Christmas, my grandma, I knit my granny a Sophie scarf, which is the tiny garter stitch scarf that's a very viral pattern. It's a great pattern. I've knit two for myself, and I knit one for my grandma for Christmas. I knit hers in Cardiff Cashmere Classic, and she requested one as a gift for her friend. So I knit it again, this one in Cardiff Cashmere Classic. This is what I've got left, as this tiny bit. It's in this really beautiful colour. The brief was either sort of a heather colour or a light green. This is runner. I did write down the number 591 runner. And it's, I think the camera's probably, it's maybe a bit lighter. It's not a light green. It looked like that online. It's definitely more bluey green, more blue leaning, but it's really lovely. And I wasn't going to return the yarn and then order another one. I just kind of went for it with this one. It's really it's super soft. I mean, it's cashmere. It's lovely, and it's very light and airy. I wanted to use up as much of the ball as possible, so I knit until I had, so you get 28 grams, I believe, and I knit until I had 13 grams left, and that was at 31 stitches, at the maximum amount of stitches I had on my needle. And then I started the decreases, and that's all I had left. Whether I could get one more out of that, I'm not sure. It's exactly what I did for my grandma as well. Hers was a different colour of Cardiff cashmere, and I knit to 31 with hers as well. Just to, I mean, it's expensive. It was, I think it's £15 or something for the ball, but then once you add postage in, it's £18. So yeah, I wanted to use as much of it as possible, really. And there's only a tiny bit left. And yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice thing to do as a gift. You cast on, it's got I-cord edges, and I will put a picture, if I haven't done already, of, I've got a picture of the one I made for my grandma's friend, here. Yeah, it's got an I-cord edge and it's garter stitch in the middle, so you're doing your I-cord edge and then you're just knitting, turning around, I-cord, knit, and then increasing until there's 2 sizes in the pattern, I think, but I just knit until I was through half of a ball of yarn and then decreased. So yeah, I would highly recommend that for a gift knit. Okay, I've taken my jumper off. This room in the house gets, I mean, it's not that hot outside, but this room in the house gets quite warm, mostly in the afternoons with the sun coming through there in that window. Then there's another window on the other side, so it gets quite hot in here, so jumper is off. Okay, on to whips. I will start with this one. Just get it out of the bag. This whip, I will probably show it now, and then it might not appear in a few more videos because I'm kind of doing a couple of rows at a time, and then putting it down and not looking at it for a while. This is the Songbird Mittens. Ooh, losing my balls of yarn. This is the Songbird Mitten by Erica Hauser. And it's beautiful. I watched the Woozy by Celine podcast, and she had made these in a pink and a white, and I just thought they were stunning, so decided to cast some on for myself. Well, actually, I thought at Christmas time, I thought I'll try and make a couple of knit items for my family, and originally I thought I'd make these for my mum, and then I cast them on and they were taking me a while, and I bought the yarn for a pair for my mum and a pair for me, and I also thought that they're a little bit small. Fine for me, I've got quite small hands, but my mum's got bigger hands than me, so I decided I'm just going to gift her the yarn and she can make them herself, we can make them together, and I'll continue on making these myself. So it's this really lovely, I'll put a picture of what it looks like when it's finished because you can kind of only see half of it here. But it's this really lovely bird. This is just the branch and the legs and the tail at the moment, with this beautiful cuff. Just think it's stunning. And then the back, you've got this really nice diamondy detail. I love this, it's really nice. So I have split for the thumb. That's just waiting on some waste yarn to be finished off. I think I may be about halfway through, but this is glove 1 and I need to make 2. And we're coming in towards, well, we're in the spring, coming towards summer. So I don't really need a pair of gloves at the moment, but I think I probably will, when I'm feeling like it, keep going with a couple of rows, and then try and get them finished for winter. I'm knitting these on 2.25mm needles. When I started these, I hadn't used the magic loop method. I think the first time I tried magic loop, I thought, what on earth is this? I'm never going to learn how to do this. Now that I know how to do it, it's very easy and I would highly recommend. It's easier than double pointed needles, I think. And I don't mind double pointed needles, but magic loop is definitely my preferred method. And maybe that's why it's kind of taken me a while, because I don't want to use the double pointed needles. I could switch it out to magic loop, but I think I'll just stick with the double pointed needles in case my gauge changes, just to keep it all the same. It is knit in Jameson and Smith, the 2-ply jumper, in these, the other ball's fallen down now, 2 colours. This one is 202 Stone, and it's like this kind of nice white colour, creamy white, and this one is FC55 Mix. And this one is really lovely. It's kind of a purple with sort of blue and yellow throughout it. It's really, really nice. I chose these colours because someone else had done these colours, and it was probably a fairly popular, well, favorited version, and I thought it was really lovely, so I'd buy the exact same colours and do it myself. I don't know if the cream was exactly what they used. I don't know if that was out of stock and so I got a different colour, or if I did manage to get the right one. It is 100% Shetland. Yeah, so it's a little bit more rustic. I can't remember how much these were, but I don't think they're very expensive. And just lovely. I really love this one in particular. It's just such a beautiful colour with all the sort of flecks of colour throughout. So yeah, I mean, this will take some time, but we'll get there, and they'll be really, really stunning once they're done. I mean, when I do pick it up, it doesn't actually take that long to do a couple of rows. I'm just getting my ball back. But it's just kind of, you need to focus on the chart. So yeah, that's probably why it's not easy. It's not difficult knitting, but it needs a bit of attention. Okay, right, the next one. So this is kind of a half finished object. This is the Vanilla Sock by the Crazy Sock Lady. This is my first pair of socks and I love it. I think I am going to be the kind of sock knitter that maybe always has a sock on the go, but like it's not going to be the main project that I'm knitting on. It's just going to be like the easy project that I have on the go, and then I'll finish it off in between things, because it's a small project, so it's easy to sort of travel or carry with you. So you knit the rib first. I have to say, because I have tried this one on and I blocked it as well, I think I don't need, I think this was maybe 60 rows. I think I probably needed a little bit less. And next time I would pick a stretchy cast on. It's not too tight, but it's not around my leg, but it's tighter than I would like. So you knit down and then you do slip stitches for the heel, and then you pick up, so you're only working the heel, and then you pick up stitches and then you decrease to get back to your original number, and then knit that, and then decrease for the toe and Kitchener together. So I have finished one and I've started done a fair chunk of my second one. So I've done the heel, and I just need to knit across a bit more and then do the toe decreases. This is Drops Fable in Pearl Grey. I originally only bought one ball and then got to like, I think halfway through the decreases, realised I'd need another ball, so I had to order another one. It's not very expensive, but I don't know why I thought I would only need one ball. Oh, it's gone a bit wild and windy outside as I'm sitting here in my summer dress. It kind of looks like it might hail again, so the weather has been wild today. This is on, I've written 2.5mm needles. Don't know if it says on the needle. I'm not sure. I will check and put what needle it is, because I think that could be right or it might be wrong. I have a feeling it could be wrong. This originally I bought off Amazon a not very expensive pair of 60cm needles and realised that they were too small, so I then decided, because I'll probably knit this pattern a fair few times. I mean, I've bought, what I really wanted to knit was a pair of mustard socks, and I thought I'll just do the grey pair first as my first go. So I did buy, and I did get it out, Drops Fable in mustard as well to make my second pair. I can't wait for these to be knit up. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide. Yeah, so mustard pear. There you go, there's a future plan. Mustard pear. I think I also bought green and I also bought navy. So, oh, is it hailing? It's definitely raining. I've got to go outside and get some fresh air for a walk later, so hopefully I can time it between the rainy patches today and the sunny patches, or full waterproofs it is. Anyway, so the 60cm one was just too tight, and I decided, some other podcasters, I think the Crabea, maybe Knee Knits as well, do recommend Chalgu needles. Definitely Crabea does. So I thought I would invest in a pair, and this is probably the most expensive needle I've purchased. I think it was £12 or £13, but I mean, I'm going to use this needle for potentially a fair few different kinds of socks. So good investment, and the cord is a lot more flexible than others, and the others sort of, when you fold them up, they kind of hold the round shape, whereas this, it doesn't. It sort of, I'm not sure if I'm explaining it very well. It doesn't hold the sort of kinky shapes, it just relaxes again. And it's really nice. If you want to get into sock knitting, I would recommend investing in this needle. So yeah, I think that is everything. I'm knitting the size small. Yeah, it's definitely hailing right now. I've got quite small feet, size UK4, so but this stitch count, the size small, works perfectly for me. It's a perfect size. So the one thing I didn't do, which I know people do, is I didn't put stitch markers every 10, which is fine for the top of the sock, but I do not know how many rows I have from the decreasing. Oh, there's a goose hair there, Goose the cat. I don't know how many rows I've done between decreasing all the way to the toe, so I'm just gonna have to try this on as I go along. I think my feet are two slightly different sizes, so that could be fine, but then unless I say somehow say this is left and this is right, I might just keep putting them on the other one. So I'll just try it on and as I go. So yeah, great first sock pattern. It's a really good pattern. She's got loads of videos. I'm doing the magic loop pattern, and if you're just getting into sock knitting, I would highly recommend. Yeah, she's got a video for all the bits that, like, for the whole thing. So yeah, I thought that was very useful and told you exactly what you needed to know. So no questions that I needed to ask. Okay, so my final work in progress is my second no frills. So I've already talked about the pattern. I'll just show you the yarn that I bought. So this is another woolly knit cone. This is the Azul Navy. This is the DK Merino. So I don't have to hold this double. You can get 4-ply merino, maybe. You can get DK, or I think it's 4-ply, which you could hold double. The 4-ply has a lot more colour options than the DK, but I wanted the navy one. And the Crayola navy one, I don't know if it was this navy, but I'm pretty sure it probably was. It was like a navy, and there's only a navy or blues, so I think it was this one. This is a 300-gram cone. I could weigh my other no frills and see how many grams, which I probably should do, because I don't know if this will be enough. It might be enough, but I didn't really think about it. I just ordered it thinking it was like a 500-gram cone as well, and then it arrived. I was like, oh, that's a bit smaller, and it's 300 grams. And I think all of the like inner tube cones are 40 grams, so you could weigh it, take the 40 grams off and work it out. So again, I knit this one. I'm knitting this on 4mm. It's nice. It's really nice and soft. It's not as soft as I've knit with the Double Sunday. It's not as soft as that, but it is still really nice and soft. I have to say, it is, like, I really like it. It's really, really nice. It is, any sort of bit of fluff is kind of attaching to it. I mean, that will all come off when I wash, but I'll maybe be having to take off fluff, or maybe not a jumper to pick the cats up in and get. I mean, Goose is a black cat. You wouldn't see that against navy, but SABAI is a black and white cat, so you probably see all of her white hairs on it. It cost £20 for this cone. At the same time, I also ordered this mint green cone. Well, this is for my knitting machine. This is, I'll just wind up a bit more so I can get it a bit closer. This is the acrylic cone. This is 500 grams. It's really soft. This is just some waste yarn for machine knitting, so I won't knit a jumper in it. It's just for the beginning when you cast on or cast off. And this was £15, I think. Yeah, oh, £10, bargain. And this is the acrylic 4-ply in mint green. Yeah, you could knit up. I don't really use acrylic yarn. I've used it once in a jumper and once in a hat. The jumper has grown a lot, and it's not as nice as proper wool. But I think if you wanted to knit a kiddie's jumper, it's super affordable. 500 grams for £10. You could get a lot of jumpers or hats or anything you know, loads of things out of this, especially if you kind of wanted to knit for kiddie size. Yeah, so super affordable. Now that's all gonna get stuck in the needles. There we go. So yeah, I have knit, currently working on one sleeve, I think. See, that's some fluff on it already. I think I've got 6 or 7 more decreases to go before I start the ribbing. And then I have knit, it's rolling up, but a good chunk of the body. And I cut the yarn so I could start doing the sleeves. These needle stoppers are fantastic. I just ordered these off Amazon a while ago, and I probably need to get a few more because I've not got any on the sleeve at the moment. They're not very expensive, but it means it stops all your stitches sliding off. Well worth getting. It's upside down, but I've done that much of the body. So yeah, a bit more on the body and then the ribbing. And I think I'll make it a little bit longer than my current one. Even though I think it's nice, I think a little bit longer. Or I'll certainly make a bit longer for the stockinette and then the ribbing. So this shouldn't take me too much longer to finish. It's just an easy project, which I'm enjoying sort of doing in the evenings whilst watching a bit of Race Across the World. Yeah. Again, it's size extra small. Okay, some acquisitions / future knitting plans. This is still in the packaging, so crinkly. So I'll get one out of the packaging. It was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I had some money to spend. And I have been hearing all good things about the Kinross 4-ply by Wee County Yarns. And it is, I'm pretty sure it's 100% superfine lamb's wool. You get it 50 grams. And I bought it in the shade Glen, which is this beautiful green colour. It's really nice and soft. And I think the Cray Bear has started the craze for this. And my plan is to knit one of her recent patterns that's come out, which is the Solace, I think. The Solace cardigan. She has DK or 4-ply options. It's a cardigan, or it's just called Solace, because then there's also a t-shirt with buttons on the front, and I think there's another version of it, maybe just a t-shirt version, can't remember. But she did a Instagram story wearing a navy cardigan, and I was like, I have to have that, I've got to knit that. that's such a nice cardigan. It's quite tight, or not tight, but it's more tight fitting. So I was waiting for this pattern to come out, and it was released last week, I think, or quite recently. And I decided I wanted to knit it in the same yarn, which she has raved about in her podcasts. I've not made a swatch or washed it yet, but I mean, it's really soft already, but apparently it softens up like a lot and is really, really nice. So yeah, I'm super excited this may be the next cast on. I think I read the yardage for the DK and I only ordered 4, and then I was reading through the pattern and I need 5, so I've had to order another skein. But yeah, it's lovely. I love the colour. My mum has a green cardigan, which I really like, so I'm gonna make myself one. She didn't make that one, I don't think. I think she bought it, but I'm going to make myself a green one. And yeah, it's lovely, and it's very soft, so yeah, that's super exciting. The next thing is a birthday present. I did request this. Sandy, my partner, bought this for me per my request. And this is it's for the Herding Hens sock kit, a sock pattern. I'm not actually sure who wrote that pattern, and I've not bought the pattern yet, but I have the yarn for it. So it's these, I'll put a picture of it. It's really nice socks with chickens on it. These probably won't be done in time for spring, sadly, but it doesn't matter. So you've got this really, really lovely base colour, which has got flecks of green, pink, yellow, blue. There was 2, so this was from Lucy Locketland. She does 2 bundle options. I think the other option is blue with a couple of other colours, for the chickens, not as many colours as this. I decided I wanted the spring chicken colourway. I don't know, I just thought it looked fun. So I think maybe the yellow's for the beak, and there's probably another colour for like every chicken, and then you've got these other colours too. I mean, one of every single kind of colour. Pink in there as well, for each sort of band of chickens. So I'll need to decide what colour chicken to go on the top, because you'll probably see the chickens at the top more than, unless I've like not got any shoes on, more than the ones at the bottom. So yeah, these are really fun. Yeah, as I said, I've not actually bought the pattern yet, but yeah, it'll be really fun, and it'll probably be quite addictive because you'll be knitting down the chicken and think, oh, I could just start the next row of coloured chickens or the next row. It is 85% merino, 15% multi Nepp, which is the little flex in here. I think for this main colourway, and then 10 grams of BFL / nylon minis. So yeah, that should be good fun when I get that started. The last thing I got for my birthday was a book, and this is the Knitting Gansies, or Guernsey. I think you can say it refer to it either way, as I learned in the first sort of bit that I was reading of the book, by Beth Brown Reinsel. and it gives you techniques, patterns. It's got a couple of patterns at the end, a bit of history, so it's really really interesting. I'd love to knit a Gansey sweater, so yeah, I will maybe knit one from in here, or it sort of gives you instructions on how to do one yourself. I love the idea that at the bottom they often have your initials, and I think that's lovely. Gansey sweaters it's quite fine wool on quite small needles, so it would be a lot of time to make one, but I just think it would definitely be an heirloom piece, and how lovely that you could pass it down and it would have your initials on the bottom. Yeah, so I also got, which is free, I just ordered this myself, from guernseywool.co.uk, is their, I'm gonna call it a sample card, but swatch card, I think that's the right term. Their swatch card with all the colours that they, so this is Frangipani 5-ply Guernsey wool. So I decided they'll send a swatch out for free. I don't think, looking on their website, I don't think you can buy it off their website. You can buy it off their suppliers, and different suppliers sell some, don't sell all of the colours. There's a couple of different places that I could get it from in the UK. Traditionally it's a blue, but I mean there's all these beautiful reds and greens. I would probably go for a blue. I quite like the Helford blue. And Gansey sweaters are lots of texture. Traditionally I think they're probably the navy. I quite like that Helford blue. But I also really love reds and greens. But maybe for my first one it should be more traditional colour. Depends what's available, I suppose, from the suppliers in the UK. So yeah, at some point, probably not right now, I will cast a Gansey on. You can also buy Gansey wool from Woolly Knit, sells some. So yeah, I just thought I'd get the colour card and then I can decide at some point. Little Goose is coming in to say hello. Come here, boy. Mm-hmm. This is Goosey. He's not very good at sitting still. He's a bit of a wriggler. But yeah, I think that is everything. He loves to sit at that window. Look out for enemy cats. Yeah, I think that's everything. As I said, I'm not sure, or maybe I said this, don't know if that introduction one will make the cut, or if I've now done another version, but I'm not sure how often I'll do these videos. It depends on how much I get knit up in between. So maybe every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, probably at least every 3 weeks, I'd imagine. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I'll be back soon for episode 2. Happiness